I think at a
Couple
certain
plus.
point, it's kind of gambling, and it doesn't matter. I think we talk a couple thousand. I think it starts to matter. I'm like, okay, let's
Some
this is some real.
it's gambling, so it doesn't matter. It always matters, JD. It
I mean,
always matters.
at a certain point, it's gambling. Like when you just say I got $20, I can win $40. Whatever, dude. I don't tell you. I go to locals. I pay $10, and I could probably win $30 store credit. Who cares, right? Because it's
Right.
literally just gambling. But this is like,
Sure.
okay, let me lock the hell in because
You
this is
better.
this is basically a prize. At this point, it's not gambling anymore. Anyway, all right.
For sure.
So
I just interviewed both red purple players outside. I got their deck profiles. So Ray and oh my god, I'm gonna forget his name right now. I just wrote it down. I just spoke to him.
dude,
I'm a bad professional.
if
Hayden, our
okay,
buddy Hayden that was on stream earlier.
yeah,
Hayden and Ray unfortunately bit the dust. No red purple will be making it into the finals.
hmm
So that's a little sad to see. Obviously, we did see Senior take out RMB.
yeah.
So we are narrowing it down. We got amber steel, and now we got this blue steel and green steel. So steel is looking pretty prevalent here. And
I might need senior to win to hit my fifth leg on this parlay, dude. Because if Amber still wins, I'm going home. Hey, Devin
he's
owes
gonna
me
sell out
huge,
your
dude.
parlay, dude.
This fifth leg on this parlay is about to hit, and I'm gonna be rich, dude. I'm never gonna have to work again. You
Do you
got
see that? That's
yeah,
it. That's it. I wish you could bet on Lorcana. That would be really cool. They'll
dude.
never allow it, but it would be cool.
Please don't. Oh my goodness.
It would be really cool though.
Dude, this fifth
So
leg on this parlay is gonna hit, and I'm never gonna have to work again, big dog. As Jakxshadows, look at that face, look at that intensity. He's in the
he's
zone
he's
there.
he's you know dead face, like ready to go.
I don't think I've
Ready to
ever
go.
seen this Illumineer that serious, man. He is locked in. A little smile there cracks
You
in as we
better
throw the
be.
handshake out.
You better be. And it's gonna be a crazy one here. Green Steel continues to rock it in
hmm
as we go on to our top four here. As we start us off with the Robin Hood. And as we know, Justin, aka Jakxshadows, is playing a Kiwi version. Very similar to. I was gonna say very similar to Harlan's list, but him and Harlan actually are some of the originators of the list.
For sure.
I believe Jakxshadows. Harlan said online that he was the originator. So I
hmm
don't know who did what, but I know that they're both a very integral part of the list.
Yeah,
So
I think it's like one of those Apple or Facebook situations. I don't know, but like not as litigious. I would say. I think it's
sure,
more of a Wozniak type Steve Jobs beat, maybe perhaps something like
for
that.
sure. Yeah,
I don't know.
well, either way, incredible minds together to create this deck and performing very well in a world that everybody told me that Blue Steel was gone. JD, everybody told me Blue Steel wasn't a deck anymore. I don't know what happened.
I live in that world, but I think Jakxshadows is built a little bit different. He's on a
He's built
different
different.
wavelength there. As we got the Kagi boy is up and active. We do have that shift line, and I don't know if you can break it up just based on the hand that Ikaika is hanging on to right now. Currently, that Robin Hood is looking clean, free, and clear to get
Hmm.
shifted on. As we're going to pay two, go for the SME and pump a one lore in. As your Robin Hood is not afraid to quest in this situation.
For sure. Yeah, he's not worried about any kind of interactions here. We know Ikaika's not playing Tramp or anything like super out of the ordinary here. So he
hmm
feels safe to go ahead and take that quest. And Ikaika, with all full perfect knowledge here, will have to kind of come up with a game plan on how he's going to go ahead and take out Justin. As we know, Justin not too worried about having no cards in hand, since a quick dock can easily refill it. So maybe not so worried about losing the whole hand here, but I know we watched Justin play earlier, and his warded characters really came in handy against these steel decks. So
hmm
it's going to be interesting to see if he's able to find. We already saw Cogsworth, but will he be able to find Alice and Company, essentially Alice in Chains, if you will?
I like some Alice Chains myself up in the
Love that. Love
Pacific
that.
Northwest. As we will play Ursula on two just to check, because sometimes people like to get a little cheeky and sneaky with
Mm,
that draw a song after playing the Diablo. But we will fulfill the prophecy and get a shift in on this Robin and get a nice quest for two. So you're
gosh,
sitting here at four. Robin Hood's not a captain. Smee will take full damage. Packs back on over Ikaika. I think you maybe take a chance to set up this morph space goo, perhaps. Now you're feeling a little bit more confident. And I think that shift Tinkerbell coming in on four, and you could probably sting this board. That might be a
yeah,
great play.
absolutely, I agree. We do know Justin plays Fire the Cannons, obviously not in
hmm
hand at the moment, but with something that could definitely deal with more for Diablo in this matchup. So I'm definitely a card Justin's going to be leaning on here if he is able to find it. But in the meantime, as you mentioned, Akaika, trying to find the best way here to start getting in the zone. Okay, he's going to go ahead and run out that upside down Pete. and
Hmm.
no actions will be taken here. But Robin Hood continues to be just an absolute monster here. Just not able to be dealt with right away until Ikaika potentially finds a talk about Bruno or something like that. In the meantime, this Robin Hood is going to continue to quest, and if that Pete turns sideways for any reason, Robin Hood's going to be coming to collect.
For
So
sure.
we're
And
double
that
Peting up right now.
And honestly, if we had to roll back, I would say Robin Hood, Champion of Sherwood Forest, has been the card of the day. This
Yep,
guy has been looking spectacular all day long in all the different steel decks, and I think he's back in a major way. And I know you and Gabe mentioned that. If I'm Ruby, I'm looking at those Medusas, and I'm really thinking about taking those bad girls out of the binder and putting them back into the 60 card strategy because Robin has been all over the place, and it's been running through this tournament in a rampant fashion. So I'll be
absolutely.
interested to see how people react to that as the meta is
Yep.
always evolving. Um,
I couldn't agree more. Yeah, I think this has been the card I've seen the most on the table today. It's a card that's gone down in value because people have been, like I said, like you mentioned, just kind of doom and gloom about it. It's always losing to Medusa, things like that. But with the decline in red and Medusa in general, even the red purple decks are not playing her anymore.
mhm,
Robin Hood is free to do what he wants. So yeah, he's been all over the place today. I've seen him so many times, and oh my gosh, now having a
mhm,
Cogsworth in addition to his already huge beefy behind, he is
and
now a resisted Robin Hood, which is going to be very
oh,
problematic for Ikaika here,
yeah,
considering that most of his removal is steel removal.
and it comes a bit too late. So now you are kind of punished for not setting up that shift Tinkerbell turn a bit
Hmm.
earlier, as
Yep.
that cog boy is going to be able to resist the Tinkerbell splash, and your Ana even gets worse. So if you'd have did that whole thing just a turn earlier, you'd be on your way. But
Yep.
now the punishment has been set and the trap has been snarled. Let's see how Ikaga can bounce back from this. Do you still
Oh
go
yeah.
shift here, or do you try to wait?
Um, it's tough to say. I mean, this Tinkerbell's not going to do a whole lot. I mean, it could come down, potentially attack into this Pete.
Mm,
But yeah, I think I like this better. We'll just go ahead and get this Pete with resist and stop any songs from happening, which I think is potentially a better idea here. This Robin Hood will not be able to crack back into the Pete because Pete has resist as well. So I think this is a little bit of a safer play. Although Tinkerbell would have been good, not really going to be able to do much with that extra 2 damage, right?
for
So
sure.
yeah, it's a little rough. And another card that's been seeing some play, again, is Cogsworth. Right? We don't have so many Sisus running around, which I
Hmm.
know was a major problem for playing Cogsworth. So just like this feels like, as much as this deck is quote unquote dead, feels like it's in a great position. It's playing a lot of cards that people are just ignoring at this point. Like nobody's respecting Cogsworth and nobody's respecting Robin Hood. So you're playing a deck with both,
I and
and I think that's a
I
great idea.
think that's very, very accurate. So I did misspeak. That is not an Onnit. I think that's a Basil that you have in hand. I think that's a Floodborn Basil, the guy that when you ink, you can force a discard. So
Hmm.
interesting tech included in the deck. I know that Del Bolito, Emerald Steel Icon has been playing that card as well. This mid-range shift everything, more Floodborn Green Steel discard deck, which I think is a very cool way to play the strategy.
For
So
sure.
let's see how we do here. I think getting this morph off the board, I think, is vital. I think getting him upgraded to something. Yeah, even the Tinkerbell's still quite good. It will do no damage except for one to the Cogsworth.
Yep. The clock will take one, but everybody else is just hanging out. And okay, so we're coming in for five, but only deals four. Oh, wait,
No,
should be
you
four.
do get a resist, so we'll go for it. There you go.
Okay, yeah, there we go. All right, don't scare me. All right, and now we'll deal with it, and that's going to take one damage. Okay. All
And
right.
Jack
So
will get a draw in the process. And this board, you're fighting for everything. You're still sitting at 12 in the lore total as you get to the fire the cannons, which is a clean answer to the Pete. For
yep,
a one cost ink, I always got to do this resist math because it always throws me off every single
I'm the
time.
same way. I've lost many games to resist math. I'm just like it's gone, right? And they're like, no, it's not.
And now this champion of Sherwood can probably get into this Tinkerbell. The resist is killing me, bro. It's literally
Yep,
driving me insane. But I think you should be able to clear this Tinkerbell free and clear
you
and
sure can.
survive. You'll take back 3, go up to
Yep,
4, okay, and you'll gain 2 lore in the process. Bro, I got a brain
beautiful,
blast trying to do that math.
beautiful brain blast. Blast that brain. We are in top four. Lock in, JD.
I'm locked in, baby. And
Lock in,
oh,
bro. You've
look
been
at
up
the
since
I'm
5 in the
still
morning.
here. One turn too late on the I'm still here. F's in the
Mm,
chat for Ikaika as lore full damage is in play. And we're going to shift it right on into an early game number 2. Jack
oof.
Shadows come out early, storming to a dub. Oh
Wow.
man.
And Jack had really no cards left. I mean, he just Sorry, I'm. You can tell that I'm watching the screen up top. I'm like looking over here, like I'm in the IMAX theater. Yeah, I mean, Jack was pretty much out of gas. I mean, he only had a couple cards in hand, but Ikaika just realizing that I can't get out of double Robin Hood into Cogsworth. I
Hmm.
just don't have the answer. And then after that clean board clear there with the fire of the cannons, Ikaika just saying, "All right, that's not going to be anything I could come back from. So let's go ahead and just get over to game two."
For
And
sure.
again, we've talked a lot about that today, just understanding when the writing's on the wall, like, but knowing your deck in and out, knowing there's no outs here, and we're just delaying the inevitable. So let's just get on with it. And we'll move on to game two, where Akaika will get to go first.
Absolutely. And then what do you think he needs here? I don't like this matchup. I think Cogsworth is really still good into
Yeah.
steel. Go figure, right?
Yeah.
Blue,
With
the
all these
Sapphire
steel
has some
decks
good
running
cards.
around, that's absolutely one of the best cards against steel.
Hmm.
It's just a lot of people have been discounting it just because, blue steel has been on the decline. So a lot of people just not respecting Cogsworth. And I think Justin, aka Jack, just really showing why, it still needs to be respected. Put some respect on that
Hmm.
clock's name
You better.
because he's coming.
This hand curve is looking significantly worse, but fortunately for Jack, there is a very forgiving alter phase in this game. As you're able to send a ton of cards back into the deck. Let's see if you can fulfill that curve a little bit more. You're looking for that Cogsworth again. I don't know how many you play, but I'd like to have that guy coming in on my fifth ink turn to help stun this board just again.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. And I think that's definitely something he's looking for, right? He wants anything with Ward in this matchup. It's going to be very good. And obviously, Resist is another absolute bomb in this matchup. So Cogsworth meets both those criterias, gives you a warded character and gives
Hmm.
resist to your board. We already talked about Robin Hood and how beneficial that is for being a 3/6 body that just answers Smeeze and all these other characters so cleanly, and then just draws you a card if you do manage to deal with it. So very powerful, very very strong, and Justin off to a great start here. And again, we talked about this earlier about winning on the play or the draw with this deck, but if anybody knows how to maneuver it, it's going to be Justin. So I have faith in him.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And just being if you can and winning being that number one seed is super valuable. Like I said, this deck on the play is one of the most consistent on the play decks. On the draw, it can falter sometimes,
Hmm.
especially when it doesn't hit the ability to because it doesn't really engage with the board too well.
That's right.
But on the draw, man, this thing is super consistent and is able to just play all these cards and hit that curve every single time. A lot of resist, get Cogsworth up, get the Alice going, and you just blast the game wide open right off the rails, man. So uh,
Yeah.
Ursula coming in on two. Let's see if we play another one. There we go.
Let's see what
As
we
we able
got
to check
here.
the hand.
Here's the spread. Oh, we got a little lag here. Okay, no song. So that's going to be a miss. So Justin will not lose a card here. Akaika,
Hmm.
unfortunately, getting to stare down his future here, which is going to be Alice and Cogsworth,
Yeah.
which I'm sure he's not too excited about, but he might have the proper discard tools to deal with it. But as of right now, he whiffs on the first discard, and Justin gets to take his next turn.
And that curve looks alive and well as we're thinking about hanging on to this Chi and Po. We'll ink one of the Smee, play a Smee. So you can go for a Smee into Alice, into a potential John Silver, and Robin Hood into the Cogsworth. Vibrate magnificently. I think is the plan here. But you're gonna have to get some discard going to kind of break up this curve. Because if you can obstruct that hand a little bit and just slow this Kiwi bird deck down, it kind of can falter a bit if you can take them off their timeline.
For sure. Yeah, and this is going to be an interesting turn here for Justin. Obviously, we have the Ursula set up here. I don't know that Justin has an immediate way to deal with this Ursula since we do not have we cannot kill it with fire the cannons rather.
Hmm.
And if we do play a third character, we will not have the ink for for Strength of the Raging Fire or anything like that. So this Ursula most likely is going to stick around for another turn, and that could be bad news if he is able to sing. It looks like he has. I'm trying to see the songs at hand. Strength of Storm Rage. Oh, no, not Storm Rage. I'm sorry. Strength of a Raging Fire.
Is there a
Uh,
sudden chill in there? If he top decks his sudden chill, this might be a win condition on this Ursula, as we will be able to go ahead and remove that Ursula Deceiver, at least break up a potential another sing a song that you could potentially sing there. But if you top deck play Prince John, play sudden chill, maybe that's too strong. You'll be able to rip a lot of cards from that hand, or you could just double strength here and take out the Mickey and potentially the Smee, perhaps.
Yeah, we do see as you mentioned, Prince John is in the hand there, and most likely. will be joining the party shortly, but he's going to go ahead and start with double
Mm,
storm. Okay, so what are we targeting here? I got this, and then the
okay.
Mickey is the only other target, and he's going to absorb one.
He'll eat that. We'll tank that. Mickey does
All right,
tank
Mickey,
here.
to the chest.
Just eat that.
He said, "Eat
He
that."
just bodied that storm, bro. Look at that little mouse, bro. Just straight tanks the
With his
storm right
ketchup
on.
bottle. He just get that out of here. Get out of my face with that
Out.
storm. So
Oh,
Mickey will survive. So, but two cards will be drawn here for Ikaika, which I'm sure he's happy about. And yeah, that's probably the best part about this whole situation is just getting to draw two more cards
mm-hmm.
for free. And now he's going to go ahead and add a Pluto to
Cart. Look at that.
protect his Ursula.
So who's the
Okay.
Kiwi now? You talk about who's the beatdown. Who's the Kiwi? As usually the Kiwi deck is the one playing this Pluto guard dog on 4, but you're gonna guard dog your own Ursula Deceiver, and I love that because now you're able to protect that Ursula, and she already got a song off. If she gets 2 song offs, you can't win. You can't lose. Is the rules from what I understand.
That's the way it works.
Yeah, that's the way it works. Hidden rules, hidden secrets. If Ursula sings twice, you can't lose. That is just a rule to the house. I don't make it up. But unfortunately for you, your board will be warded completely. So Ursula really doesn't have those viable targets, it appears.
Okay, so I think he chooses to do Mickey instead. Yeah, he was thinking about what he wanted to
Hmm.
target here. Interesting choice here. He is going to be giving up this Alice to the Pluto if Pluto so chooses,
Hmm.
which is interesting that he's willing to offer up his Alice for the Pluto. But I'm guessing that he just wants to get in with this lore here and decided that this is the opportunity for him to do so. However, it's going to be a pretty big turn here for Akaika. He's got can't challenge. Oh, you're right. I'm so
Oh,
sorry.
yeah.
So yeah, great call out. Yeah. So cannot challenge. I
Because
always
of
get the
the
can't
John
challenge
Silver.
I always get the can't challenge and the can't quest
Yeah.
confused
They're gonna.
because
I
the
guarantee you,
Hufflepuffs and
they're gonna
Woozles.
print. They're gonna print another card that's like a Heffalumps and Woozle on a body, like a John Silver on a body, and it's gonna really, it
Some
really
cards
confuse
give
a lot of people.
reckless. Some cards you can't attack. Some cards you
Yeah,
can't quest. Some cards you can't sing.
you
Like
can't challenge. It's
I can't. I
they're
can't.
gonna print. It's probably gonna be a John Silver too. John Silver tax adjuster. Your opponent can't quest next turn. It's gonna be a
I
3
used
cost 3/3 as well, and we're gonna
I used
all
to
just
play
be
the old
confused.
school. Shut up, Chuck. Get out of my chat, bro. I used to play the old school John Silver six drop. That way, we give something reckless every turn. So,
Yeah.
yeah, there's a lot of John Silver stuff. Okay, so
Okay.
Pluto will go ahead and clean up that silver. Yeah,
He
we
can't
got it,
challenge, but he
guys.
can
Sorry.
quest,
Yeah,
and we will
Pluto
go ahead
can't
and take,
challenge. We got
and
it. We got it.
we're taking out the Mickey Mouse Defender as well, putting 1 damage onto this Ursula. Your hand is quite bulky. You're going to this 5 ink turn, but the Hidden Cove will help thwart some of the resist that you have that Cogsworth can give you. So very interesting turn for Jack. You can get double Coggy Boy if you really, really wanted to get loose with it, and the Chien Po. If you can play all these cards in enough time, I think you're going to be on your way. Diablo, who cares?
All
And
right.
you,
I'm sorry, I was reading chat here. No, he did. He actually provided ward to the Mickey guys. So yeah.
mhm.
So it was all good.
Yes, yes, yes,
Chuck
yes.
is gonna get banned out of my chat, bro. I would have strength with the opponent's hand, making them discard three. Exactly. Exactly. Good strat. Good strat.
Hey, you been watching too much of that old school Yu-Gi-Oh, man. They could just do stuff like that, make up their own rules on the fly on the
That's
anime.
it. That's
Not
it.
attack the moon. Hey, that you can't do that. No, you
The
can't do
moon.
that. No, no, we're not doing that over here. You
No,
cannot.
we're not attacking the moon. Oh, that is funny. That is
No.
funny.
So
All
we're
right.
gonna.
So Akaika thinking out his turn here. We're gonna add John, and you can see this game just playing out a lot differently than the first, right? So Akaika slowly putting the pieces together here. Justin only at 6 lore this time around.
Mm-hmm.
And as we mentioned, this is my quarrel with this deck. Very good on the play, but on the
Yeah.
draw it can get a little shaky,
I
right?
mean, you better have them loaded dice. You better start winning some dice rolls. I'll be interested to see what Justin's dice spread was throughout the entire day, as you could just keep sending these warded characters out there and hope that's good enough. A double Kagi might be hard to overcome. You do have this Ursula Prince John combination set up, which is a heinous maneuver that you have to deal with. Or you can get this Chien Po loose, active, ward up the Chien Po, and just start questing, huh? And see if that's going to be good enough for you. So
Yeah,
thoughts abound. Let's see how Jakxshadows break this one down.
for sure. Yeah, I mean, if there's anybody who can get out of the situation, Justin would definitely know what's going on. But it's going to be tough, right? We have Diablo in play that needs to be dealt with quite immediately. We could just try to race here. I mean, that is a possibility, and it
Yeah.
looks like that might be what he's going for. So he's just going to race. He's going to say Chimpo has ward, so good luck.
The
And
whole the whole
there's a
board is
maybe
warded up.
discrepancy, and or total discrepancy or something. Let me see what's going on here.
Dude, is Chiempo back? His stocks are through the roof. Are they exploding right now? Is Jack Shadow adjusting the market? Stay tuned to find out. Market watch on TCG Player and see if
We've seen
Chiempo's stocks are jumping off the charts.
two top 8 decks play Chiempo because the Mufasa deck that we saw round 1 earlier today also
Yeah.
top 8'd, and that was also playing Chiempo, and then he's playing Chiempo. So Chiempo stocks going up, guys. So
And look at this hand. Is Chiempo actually doing some serious heavy lifting? I guess you can put this Pluto Guard Dog into the Hidden Cove, slamming into this Chiempo if you want. But this Quaggy Boy Nasty is looking strong, strong, strong. Maybe you can, I don't know what you do, put more guys into the Cove. Because if you got to clear this board right now because the idea of a second Cogsworth coming down beside another Cogsworth and a big Chiempo and a Warded Alice would just send a sudden chill up my own spine. I'd hate
of
that.
course. Yeah, but I mean, what are your options here? You're just gonna slam your whole board into this
I don't
this
I don't even
sumo
know, man.
bodyguard. This guy,
Don't
he's
even know.
massive. This guy,
He's
he is the
huge,
he is the
man.
gorilla versus the 100 people right now. He is just a massive dude, and
He's
he's got resist as well. It's like if it wasn't ward resist, Champo is just what a demon. He's
oh,
just
he's
there we
doing it
go. He's just
too.
gonna
You're
eat
taking
it
back
all.
one.
Give me
Yeah,
one damage.
dude. Cogsworth is putting him through the ringer,
Oh no,
dude.
he's doing the thing you did. He's like, oh crap, resist math. Hold on.
Bro, yeah, Cogsworth is putting him through it, bro. It's rough. It's cold out here, and it's cold in the D, dude. It's cold out here in these city streets. Get Diablo involved too.
The
Send the
worst is
whole.
when you start attacking somebody and then you realize halfway through your attacks that like, oh wait, I don't have enough to kill this thing. But now
Hold
you've
up.
wasted an attack, so now you're
No,
like stuck.
because what I do, I count it all up in my head, and then I just minus the resist. I'm like, okay, so he's resist one, and then it just doesn't work because it's resist every single challenge instead of just the overall resist. So the math is getting out of hand as we send in the
All
farm. You
right.
sent the
He sticks
Diablo
with
in
it.
too. Everybody goes in.
He stuck with it. Everybody, I know everybody's calling. He shouldn't take it back. He didn't. He kept with it, guys. He kept with it. Everybody, chill. Everybody, breathe. All right. So there is no more Chempo, but I think he did more than enough of what he was supposed to. He literally bodied the whole team here, and everybody just got in there and got a piece of him. He took on all the 100, and
Oh,
yeah.
a double
Oh
coggy.
my goodness, another
Another
Kagi boy.
coggy.
Oh my
That's
god.
I want to see the visuals on that and what that looked like of what a Chiempo versus like I would love to see
A
like
Pluto
a graphic artist or some type of one someone
or
who can draw
Ursula.
really well like actually draw what just went down like one Chiempo like beating up Ursula, beating up Diablo, beating up a guard dog and just surviving. I think that'd be you're not taking me to jail kind of thing like he's getting carried off. I think that'd be really funny. As we
Yeah,
are
no,
continuing to quest, as Jakxshadows has presented Lords of Damage again with a heavily warded and resisted board. This looks miserable. Oh my
JD,
goodness.
what happened? A minute ago, I was saying Justin's losing. I was talking about how Justin only had a couple things in play, and this Champo just put up enough sauce to just get in the way and get us in there. And now we're at 15,
Let me
and
tell you a story.
we
Let me
got
tell you a
three
story.
warded characters.
Let me tell you a story about a keyword named Ward. Once upon a time, Ward. The end. Okay.
You ever heard about ward double resist? You ever heard about that one?
Get wrecked. I mean, there's not much you could do as you're looking at that storm rage on. You're like, bro, just throw it in the garbage. You look at this Pluto guard dog, throw him in the garbage. Throw Prince John in the garbage. Hidden Cove, throw it in the garbage. Throw your whole deck in the garbage, man. Double cocky is get out of there. We're
This
going
is so
next.
crazy. This is so crazy. Yeah, Justin doesn't have a bunch of cards in hand either. He's just slamming his every turn. He's just slamming a dude in there, and it's just good enough. Like you mentioned, we don't have a lot of ways to interact with our opponent, but we don't need to. They got to interact with us.
For sure.
So it's gonna
As
be.
you're
You
you're
see Ikaika like, oh crap, how am I gonna get out of this situation here?
you send 4, 5. You're going to the Alice here, which is interesting. We got resist too. You got to really focus in on this mathematics.
It's like
Go after the Cogsworth. T points are too
he's
cocky.
he's he's telling him no.
No, dude, the mathematics is terrible. No,
Oh,
and we've
Ikaika.
all been there. Double coggy is a mess, dude.
Yeah, he's like, I have Cove, and then Justin's like, yeah,
I
but
don't
I have
care,
two clocks. So,
dude.
uh,
We've all been
oh
there,
yeah.
and I'm telling you, we've all been to that. You throw the hand up on the forehead, like, oh my god, it's a long day
Oh
as
yeah,
we
he
just
knows it.
extend
He
the
knows
hand.
it. Yeah, he's like,
Mm.
okay, well, I goofed. All right, and Justin from the draw. Look at that. Look at that.
Holy.
After all that, not that I didn't trust